Hi, it's Steve. Today we're going to show you how to change the defrost thermostat on your refrigerator, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, a 1/4" nut driver, and a pair of wire strippers and crimpers. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect power to the refrigerator, so pull it forward enough that you can unplug it. Now next we'll want to remove all of the items that are in the freezer, because we will be removing shelves, bottom crisper, and we'll also have to take the ice bin out as well. We'll start by lifting up on the ice bin, pulling it straight out, and we'll set that aside. And we do that to gain access to a single screw that is located behind that ice bin, and that holds the light shield in place. Just remove this single screw here. And then reach underneath and just slide that shield to the left, and then drop it down. Next, we'll remove any of the shelves that are in place. So simply depress the little clips on the right-hand side while lifting up on the wire frame. Then lift the shelf up, pull it away to the right, and remove it. Then remove the bottom drawer and set that aside. Now, a good practice before we go any farther is you will note at the bottom, at the rear, there is a drain opening. It's a good idea to wipe that area dry and then take a piece of duct tape and cover that opening, just so that we don't accidentally drop any screws down into there. Now, as a reminder to myself, I'll also put a little piece of tape right where I can see it, just to remind me to remove that from the drain hole. Now next, we'll remove the screws that secure that evaporator cover in place. In this particular model, there are 2 Phillips screws at the top, and this one has 1/4" hex head screws on the bottom. So remove all of those. Now with the screws removed, you can then tilt that panel away from the back. Just pull the left side forward first, and that will allow us to clear the shelf clips on the right side. We'll remove the evaporator cover and set it aside. Now the defrost thermostat is located at the very top of the evaporator, just off to the left, and it's clipped to the actual tubing of that evaporator. There may be some frost buildup in that area that you'll want to melt first, so either take a hair dryer and just gently warm that area enough that we can gain access to the thermostat. Once we've got that clear, we can pull the wire harnesses away from the little clips that are mounted on the back wall, and that will give us access to splice in the new thermostat. So just take that harness, reach in and cut it. Discard the old thermostat. And then we'll take these 2 leads and we'll just strip back about 3/8 or 1/4 inch of that insulation. Well, next we'll prepare the new thermostat. I'm just going to cut back a little bit of that lead, just so we don't have as much to tuck away inside the refrigerator. And then we'll again strip back about 3/8 to 1/4 inch of that insulation. Make sure we've got some good clean copper to work with. And then we'll just twist that copper so that it's nice and tight. And what we'll do is we'll crimp the inline butt splice connectors that we're going to use outside of the refrigerator, where it's a little easier to work with. Well, you can use these inline type, or you can use a straight butt type connector, it doesn't matter, or even a moret. You just want to insulate a moret with some tape when you're done if you use that method. Just give that a tug to make sure we got a good connection. And now we'll fit that into the refrigerator and we'll crimp the other two ends. So I've taken one lead and inserted that butt splice connector in my crimpers. And I'm going to take the harness lead from the refrigerator, make sure it's fully inserted into that butt splice connector. And again, you'll need to make sure that you twist those copper ends, make them nice and tight. Make sure it's fully inserted. Crimp it. And give it a little tug to make sure it is secure. We'll do the same with the opposite one. Once we're satisfied that we've got a good secure connection, we're going to take that little clip and we're going to make sure that we fit that right over this piece of tubing up in the left top corner. Press it firmly onto that tubing and then tuck the excess harness into these little plastic wire restrainers. And now we can go ahead and put the evaporator cover back on. Now before we put the evaporator cover back in, we'll want to make sure that the gaskets along both sides are firmly attached and in position. And then we're just going to lift that in, put the right side in first, pivot it into position. And just grasp it at the bottom, push it up into position at the top, and then we'll install one of those two top screws first. Then we'll hold it until we can put the remainder of the three screws in. Now with the cover back in place, we next have the light shield to put in. Slide that up from the bottom, that little gap between the bottom of this shelf and the back wall. Slide it to the right to line up the screw hole and then install that single screw. Once we've installed all of the screws, we can safely remove the tape from the drain opening. Install the bottom bin. And the shelves that we've removed. Start by inserting the male pins on those into the left side wall, dropping it down onto the shelf clips, and snapping it into position. We'll next put the ice bin back in. Just lift up on it to push it all the way back. Make sure it's engaged. Verify that the ice maker shut-off arm is in the down position. We can reload the freezer and close the door. We're now ready to reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.